an overview of Ghana's roads and the transport sector. What is missing? Where's the missing link? Well, we engaged the ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee on the way forward. He is the MP-elect and Member of Parliament, actually, for Wassa East constituency, Adjei Mensah. He joins me in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for having me.
You are decked in all white. I see you're in a celebratory mood.
Of course, yes. So thankful to the people of Ghana and, of course, to God. So I have to be in the white. I
see. This would be your fourth term. The 9th Parliament would be your fourth term in Parliament.
Exactly so.
You've been there and you've done that. But let's just talk about the journey. Even before we get to your party, the journey to become a Member of Parliament. Why did you want to get into Parliament?
Thank you so very much.
In 2013?
Thank you so very much. If you allow me, let me thank the good people of Wassa East and, of course, my party, NDC, and the First Family for allowing me the opportunity to come here in the first place as a Member of Parliament. And so I'm so thankful. And, of course, I want to greet you also for the first time that I'm coming to your show. So, and your crew, of course, and our cherished viewers. Yes, back to the point of the question that why. I have the passion for public service.
Okay.
And as at the time that I came into politics, active politics, I was, in the mines. I was in the multinational companies and the mining company. I was HR director for close to 20 years. And so I resigned for public service. I'd earlier on been a presiding member of Wassa East Assembly. And so the issue of development, rural development, my people's development was a factor. And so I resigned and joined politics. They voted for me massively. And I was so fortunate that President Mahama appointed me as a Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways. And so we did perform. And throughout a period of 4 years, where I had 2 ministers coming through, I'd always been there doing the good job. And I'm satisfied the good job that I did in the ministry. So I'm happy to be allowed the opportunity again to come into the 3rd term, going to the 4th term. So I'm great, I'm happy, and I'm thankful.
How do you feel entering your 4th term and the people of Wassa East? Do you feel they have been served?
Of course,
and served well?
They have been served during my period, and the peak of the service was during the 2013-2016 period, because that is where you could see the infrastructure development flopping through. The issue of roads construction, the issue of rural electrification, the issue of education, agriculture and so on, massive in the history of Wassa East. That was the peak that we witnessed that. Right after that, from 2017, many of the good projects, particularly the road sector projects, were abandoned. And even the rural electrification.
Were abandoned by whom?
Abandoned by this government for 8 years.
Are you saying there was no road infrastructure work done in Wassa East over the last 8 years?
As far as I'm concerned, no.
None?
None.
Not even one?
No. I need somebody to tell me which of the roads that was constructed by this government. We had projects, we had roads in the process where contractors were on these roads, but these projects were terminated. I want to talk about Domama Ponsasu Road, Cocoa Road, to be tired. They were terminated. The Domama, Mfantini Mbetche to Tosin Road, that connects to Trifo, they were, terminated. And many more. The challenge is that we also never maintained them. Even those ones that was constructed by President Mahama, the Junasi, Kuchosa, Tobiasi Road, is in a very deplorable state. The Teku, Dabuasi Road is just messy. So I am pained because if you examine the extent of investment in Wassa East, the roads alone that are being left to this deplorable state is worrying. But the hope is that, it will pick up again. And it's among many of the constituencies in the country and in the region, most of the projects were abandoned, particularly cocoa roads.
Now, this administration has had year of roads, at least two. I don't know, it's about 3 of such year of roads. And it has been touted that they've done much more than any other administration since Nkrumah has done in terms of road, work, expansion, and all the other components. About 10,000 kilometers of roads. Since you are especially known in that sector, do you dispute this?
I do. And
why?
Consistently I've disputed that. And I do that with evidence. You see, the road sector is very technical and professional. You just cannot come in and change numbers. The issue is that if you check through the fourth republic, President Rawlings, late Rawlings, President Akufo, President Mills, President Mahama, the least performing president as far as road construction is concerned is President Akufo-Addo. And as I speak to you today, we have in his credit 6,977 kilometers of roads constructed, sealed.
By President Akufo-Addo?
Akufo-Addo.
6,000 what?
6,977 kilometers of roads for urban, feeder, and highways. These records are there, and we get this from the budget statement. So we are going to see the full extent of his performance in the first quarter of 2025. That will be very clear. You know what? President Mahama, as at the time that President Mahama was exiting office, he had constructed 8,118 kilometers of road. Just the term, 4 years. President, Akufo, after Mills was, he never completed his term, and a little over 5,000 kilometers was constructed by him just for that period. President Akufo in his 2 terms constructed close to 14,000, and of course the largest of it all, President Rawlings, close to 19,000, 18,900 and something. So if you compare President Akufo-Addo with all this, he stands the least. And so the issue that he has performed more than any other government system is unfounded. And we don't have any evidence. He's talking about performing over 10,000 kilometers. But when we went to I challenged that. In Parliament, I did challenge that. And I also publicly have challenged the assertion. And I've requested for evidence. When they brought the details, you know what they said? They said yet to be validated. And most of them are projections. And you see, in road sector...
So you're saying the 10,000 plus kilometers of roads that we're talking about included
it's not
projections?
Validated. Yes. So, and I challenge them now. In Parliament, I did challenge. Bring the evidence. When they brought the details, what they said, and you see, these professionals are smart. Because they were forced to churn in, numbers that cannot be verified, they indicated, Axeris, that they are yet to be validated and projected. There are projections. So I don't take it very serious. But you see, the only way you can know the extent of performance is conducting the road condition survey. That has not been done since 2017. So what is the proof that indeed you have performed to that extent? So the verifiable, the non-projected or the sealed, inventorized data, inventorized details on road construction is what I told you. You can get all this in the budget statement.
I'm curious about these because then it creates confusion in the minds of people. This was done, was it not done? We've had those problems with our developmental issues. Plus, development is a continuum. It's a chain where maybe you run a baton race, a lap. You run your lap. If we decide that someone else must come and continue the lap, then you hand over, and that person continues from where you left off.
Exactly.
But in this instance, whether it's the National Development Planning Commission or you as an MP or me as a media person, there is confusion. How do you think moving forward we can streamline these to ensure that we know, look, this is what we've done within the last 4 years, 8 years. This is where we are, and this is where we are continuing from. What do we have to do?
I think the regime, the next state of President Mahama will fix that. In resetting the state, in resetting Ghana, all these things will be made clear. And you see, there's a commitment by President Mahama, the president-elect, that all projects will be continued or will make sure that execution takes place in there. When this thing is done, then it's clear. But you know what? How do we know the extent of performance? Now the Transition Commission, the committee, is sitting. We will want to go into the details. For instance, with particular reference to roads. What is the state of our roads today? They need to provide us the condition of our roads in terms of good, in terms of poor, in terms of fair. There's a standard. In the road industry, there are standards. International Road Federation has that clear. So you need to provide those details.
Yeah, but you have to ask for those details, and they'll give them to you.
We're going to ask, yes. And so now the committee is sitting. There is this, the infrastructure committee chaired by Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and the subcommittees of roads. I'm the co-chair of the Roads and Transport Committee, and we have the men in there. So we just want to go through the details and query and question. So we want to know the condition of our state, the state of our roads. So you got to know what is the inventorized state, inventorized data of roads. I mean the network. You get to know that. What is the state in terms of maintenance? Our challenge with this government is the neglect of maintenance. The maintenance regime has collapsed. The maintenance regime is nothing to talk home about. What are you talking about maintenance? The periodic maintenance and routine maintenance. Basic, boss. The issue is that periodic maintenance is that one that you get into the details of it, the asphalt overlay and many more. But more importantly, the basic and routine. The pothole patching, the slashing of the roads and many more. These are basic. You don't need to spend so much money. But it's been neglected. And there's the road fund. Road fund was set up basically for the maintenance of our roads. So the question is that, why haven't you used that money for that? And you remember, we have cheap money, the toll roads, and the tolls have been abandoned. And
I was just about to get into that.
It's worrying.
What's going to be the approach with tolls?
Of course, yes. Everybody knows that it was a very bad decision. We talked about it, that, for this outgoing governor, Akufo-Addo, to scrap the toll system was the most, irresponsible decision or policy that they did. We talked about it. Parliament, we spoke about it. The Speaker of Parliament requested the minister even to withdraw. He did not. So,
but there was also talk on the back of the e-levy. Those things were, scrapped. Claims were made. But there's also been talk. It's been reinstated in a way because they say that new roads will be tolled and all of that. You are aware of that?
Yeah, but it's not reinstated. The toll regime is collapsed, is scrapped, is abandoned, and is no longer there. The toll booths are all abandoned and being infested with rats and snakes and so on. You remember there was a time that the minister said we're going to use those facilities for toilets and all those urinal, especially in the middle of the road. They never.
Later he came back and said.
Oh, he probably was joking, yeah. Yes. But I take serious. You can't have a minister coming to just joke that we are going to use those booths for that sort of stuff. But the point is that it will come back again. They have never reinstated. There is that intention of bringing it back. They have not followed the process. And President Mahama's administration, the president-elect administration, is going to reset the economy. It's going to reset the country. And in resetting the system, the toll booth will be brought back again. And you are talking about the e-tolling, electronic tolling. All over the world, even in almighty USA, there's tolling. So why would this government, I can't fathom, why would this government abolish it? You're paying for road maintenance every day. You have a vehicle. So fuel levy and all those, the Burkina Bay, the Malians, they are using our stretch free. And they are those people overweighting and so on. It's only Ghana, within the sub-region, it's only Ghana that is not tolling our roads. And I think that is the most ingenious, move by this government, hopefully.
Did you say ingenious or disingenuous?
Disingenuous, the most disingenuous, right. Exactly. So I'm hopeful, I'm thankful, and I think, and I want to believe that all this toll thing, that's mess up in the road sector, the non-maintenance thing will all be over.
Let me ask you specifically, what can we expect from the incoming administration when it comes to roads? You've made mention of continuing projects, yes.
Yeah.
And there's also been talk about not starting too many new projects and you want to complete those that are already in existence. But what is going to be, because sometimes the devil is in the detail, what is going to be the technical, the tactical approach to road construction in Ghana? There are so many communities with terrible roads. And I'm not even sometimes talking about outside. We leave the rural areas. Sometimes we act like Ghana is Accra. But even if you look here in Accra, go to Ghana South, go to Ghana East, you go to certain places and you ask yourself, okay, is this still part of the capital? You go to Ablekuma and other places. It's tricky. What is the plan for our roads? And after that, we'll target Cocoa Road specifically. But for now, the general roads that we...
Thank you. So we got a picture right. So if everyone, the villagers, the chiefs, we are all complaining that we have bad roads. The issue is maintenance. You are talking about basic grading, particularly in the rural areas. Grade them. These guys, these villages are not qualified for asphalt in roads. You need to have that robust maintenance program going in place. And that is the routine maintenance we're talking about. So technically, the maintenance regime will be revamped, will be enhanced, will be brought back again.
How?
Because we have the road fund scheme there. The road fund is that where we have that chunk of money, and close to 4 billion cedis is accruing every year. So it is meant for the maintenance of our roads in terms of periodic, routine, and so on. So more attention we paid, to maintenance of our roads. So technically, when we have our roads maintenance regime brought back on track, it gives hope to people. You believe with me, or you trust me, or we can agree together, that people are not calling for asphalt overlay, asphalt roads. All they need is that maintain their roads. If you need to pothole patch them, do it. If you need to grade it, do it. If there is the need for you to add some asphalt, do it. That is what has been neglected, and that is why we are facing all this problem. So the President Mahama's administration will ensure that sanity, the system is sanitized. The road maintenance regime will be brought to back again. During the President Mahama's period, that was the time that we saw sanity in the road sector. Rural roads were maintained, urban roads were maintained, highways were maintained. Why there was the need for periodic maintenance. Periodic maintenance is that we talk about the bituminizing of the roads, the asphalt overlaying, and many more. And the routine maintenance is the grass control, the pothole patching, and so on. So when the maintenance system is brought to speed, we will see a significant improvement in our road network. We have this equivalent tax of continuing with the roads that have been started. Can you imagine? Virtually every place in this country have been excavated. The network have all gone, given on contract. That is adding up to the challenge, because when you award the road, the contractor gets the road, he excavates, he brings a certificate, you're not paying, he abandons the road. And you don't have money. There is no funding, there is no budget for that. All over.
So how are you going to find the money? You spoke about the fund, but what if you get there and find out that what you think is there is not there?
No, but basically, I'm not sure, yes. The road fund alone brings so much for the maintenance. You see, we are not going to carry ourselves immediately with the big projects. Maintain them, the maintenance, the project maintenance, routine maintenance. And the hope is that, there's the road fund, the chunk of money in there for about 4 billion. So whatever that money has been sent to will be brought back. And
wherever it's been sent to will be brought back.
Yeah, the scheme, road fund, I'm told that is happening. And road fund projects are not being paid for. So the question is that, where is the money? I'm told it's been collateralized. It's been, it's been sent for whatever it is. But I think the system will be sanitized. So the hope is that...
What do you mean by the system will be sanitized?
It will be sanitized because the road fund will be made to function again.
Okay.
The road fund will be made to function again.
Let me ask you specifics. I used to work somewhere in the Pram area, so the Pram Dawenya stretch is one that I know, and it's pretty problematic for a lot of people. The traffic, the congestion, vehicular congestion and all that, different portions of the road and work being done and this and that, it takes people hours. It's excruciating using that stretch. Students going to school must wake up so early, they can't even sleep well, because if you do that, you miss out, you will not make it to school. Workers and all that, and fuel burning. What is the plan for that stretch? What is the plan for the Tema motorway stretch, for example? I find it so worrying that we had a concrete road and we've patched with so many things, and when you're passing on that stretch, it's always, you can hear your tires going boom, boom. Yeah. And I also want us to look at our best roads and how we're going to work at them. For example, the N1 is one of the best roads we have,
of course,
in terms of quality. But you keep mentioning maintenance. I ask myself, what will we do to maintain some of our best stretches of road so that they don't deteriorate over time? These three, you can address them one by one. Pram Dawenya Stretch, Tema Motorway, N1, and other, A-class roads.
So let's pick them one by one. N1. N1, as you did say, is one of the best, finest roads that we have in this country. But if you have set fine roads and you don't maintain them, they'll go bad. You see that middle stretch where it's weedy, the grasses are taking over, it has to be maintained. You have to weed them and sanitize the environment. But you see, I was talking about the issue of the road fund. The road fund was established basically for the maintenance. So the N1 will be maintained, where it calls for, some overlay will be done, and that will fix it.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question. It's about maintenance. We are not maintaining our road.
So what you're basically saying is you will use the road fund appropriately.
Properly, okay. Yes, to get it fixed. Now the motorway, it's been contracted. It's in 3 phases, but the first phase from Tama to the Kwashi Circle has been contracted out to Maripoma Company, one of the best and finest, indigenous companies in this country. And so I think there's some work ongoing in there. We did budget for that, and I'm not sure whether the payments are going through properly. You know the financial challenges that we all face. We hope that when we take over, that will be it. And again, also the Damwenya stretch that falls within the whole Aflao road, that isn't it? And that was on contract. And I'm not too sure why we are in that state. It's supposed to be fixed by this time. And if it is not, it's going to be one of the albatross that we need to fix. Because if we don't fix it, going to hold, it falls part of the Abidjan-Lagos corridor. And about 50% of that stretch falls in Ghana. And that fits into it. So if you don't fix that stretch, we're not going to make any headway going to Togo and Lagos and so on. That is also going to be fixed.
All right. Just to conclude, cocoa routes, what is the plan to ensure that our cocoa production and transporting these beans to central areas is as smooth a process as possible? And then again, in terms of infrastructure, we've seen that sometimes governments would wait till elections are close and then they'll start with a lot of road projects like we've seen in recent times. Can you give us an assurance, the people of Ghana, that it will be evenly spread so that in the course of whatever, at least the 4 years that are coming, people will see work going on their roads without waiting for another election?
Yeah, thank you. I think this is the assurance, and it falls.
And this will be your final bit. So cocoa roads, okay, and then that one.
Thank you. So it fits into the manifesto of the NDC and in resetting Ghana. So for instance, that route what you're talking about, it will be properly, it will spread over with the 16 regions. That will be done. And President Mahama has made it clearer, and it's clear again, that he starts immediately and he's going to work. So all those areas will not be, we won't wait till the end of the system. No, we have been in government before, and going forward, that will be fixed. Now, Cocoa Road, the bane of the economy is cocoa, and the industry has collapsed. And virtually all roads, in my area is a cocoa growing area, and all those cocoa growers have been abandoned. And no cocoa routes are ongoing. They are all terminated because we don't have the funding for that. We reset it. As soon as we come into the system, we're going to energize and sanitize the environment, and cocoa industry will rise again. And it can rise and it can grow again when the rules are fixed. And that is a commitment of President Mahama. And you know very well, during the tenure of President Mahama, within 2013, 2016, we experienced the top of roads in the country, rural roads, for instance, and that is the cocoa roads. We are going to sanitize that. We are aware of the decadence and the corruption. We're going to put sanity into it, and cocoa roads and cocoa industry will be revamped again.
Sometime in the future, if we have the opportunity of engaging again, we'll talk about the rail system. But that will be for another day. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Adjei Mensah, he's Member of Parliament for Wassa East constituency. Of course, he's been there and he's been reinstated. He's been re-elected. He is also ranking member on the Committee on Roads and Transport. Before we...